Well, hello YouTube. It's been a while since I've done an update. Thought I'd show you what I'm working on. I cleaned up the old workshop here. Thought I'd organize a little bit. Some storage containers. Organized a bunch of good stuff in here. Just trying to clean up a little bit. Recent projects. Again, weathered that a little bit more. Really haven't been doing a whole lot. Weathered a bunch of cars. You know that much. That's one that the train seller did up for me, and then I weathered it. What else did I work on? Got a bunch more locomotives. As you can see, there's CP 5960. Got CP 5400, which is a unique locomotive, I thought. Couldn't resist off eBay. 160, which I weathered myself. Train seller did the DC installation or DCC installation for me. 158, that's I was at that for a while. Another one, 165, 172, and 205. Yeah, they're not exact, but they'll do for me. And yeah, not too much else here. I painted the backdrop. I'm actually looking at getting a photo backdrop of just some trees to put in here. Just to kind of make it, I don't know, I've been having thoughts about ballasting the whole staging yard back here. So just been kind of toying with the idea of ballasting it and then putting a backdrop on there. And yeah, just I spend a lot of time back here building trains and putting trains away. So I thought, you know, the blue really added to it. And you know, I always got to take it to the next level, right? So out here, my son and I spent most of the day in here tinkering and cleaning and such. So worked on blending the trees into the backdrop all the way up to the corner. I'm getting the itch to keep the trees going along the back side and then start working on this area a little bit more, getting a little bit cold. So let's start with these 3-4 cars I did here. This is the latest batch of weathering that I did, and I think these are probably one of the nicest ones I've done yet with my airbrush. As you can kind of see the rust stains on them, that was all done with my airbrush. It's kind of hard to see on the old YouTube vid here, but this one you might be able to see. It's so it's about a 5-part step. So I fade them with a white, just a cheap Walmart acrylic paints, thin down with a matte medium, and then a flow aid. So I do a real thin few coats of whitewash with a hairdryer, and then I start with all the layers of different colors that I mix and stuff. And you know, like I wasn't sure about this whole weathering thing with the acrylic paints because I used the alcohol based paint before. Man, it's stupid easy. You just do a few, and I tell you, the results you get are awesome. I use one of the paint pens to do the wheels, and that's it. Bingo bango, you're done. So here's another locomotive that was done, 188 Southern Tier Locomotive Works down in the States. He did a phenomenal job on painting this. Thing is pride of the fleet so far. 161, again, weathered by myself. Of course, I've had 182 forever. Little things I did, I added power poles, or telegraph poles. My layouts in the late 80s. So a lot of these were out of use in the late 80s, but they were still around. So you're going to see them throughout the layout here and there. What else have I done? So I worked on this area a little bit, hence the construction equipment. My son, of course, that's me and him running the machine, so we're smashing buckets, you know, like you do the fist pound thing. We're doing the bucket thing. So worked on this area. This gravel lot here is going to be 2 big propane storage tanks. That's the Walthers Central Gas, I think what it's called. So I did a parking lot, a couple of the outbuildings, going to be a chain link fence around it, chain link fence around the propane unloader, and then some kind of doodad to unload the propane. Did static grass, which I freaking love static grass. Did it all around here. Not sure if you all seen the fire station. I think my son's got all the trucks. Well, they were all parked away inside. I'm working on the grade crossing here. That's going to be working next. Picked up this funky, I think it's a scrap metal loader, but I'm going to take off one of the grapples on here and make it into a log loader so you can actually load the logs. My son, heaven forbid, was loading these nice bundles of lumber into the pulp log cars. But yeah, there's going to be this is going to be the grapple area where there's going to be trucks coming in to get unloaded, and then the machines are going to load onto the rail cars. So the grapple loaders and this funky loader here, they're going to be used to unload the trucks, and then that machine there will use to load the rail cars. So I was thinking about getting another one because I think I only paid like 12 bucks off eBay. Wasn't very much. Weather it up. It's kind of an oddball machine, but I thought, hey, you never know what's going to be out in the bush, right? I worked out in the bush. I know what it's like. I can see my son was here. The poor guy was taking a poop on the log and he fell off. So, you know, here's to happy pooping in the woods and not falling off a log. Other than that, this is all kind of the same. So not too much has changed. Like I said, haven't really been really busy with work and lots of calls and such, so I haven't had much time to spend down here as much as I like. But got the mill area. It's all kind of worked out. The bugs are worked out of the track for the most part, so I'm pretty pleased with that so far. The only thing I'm going to change is this backdrop. It kind of wraps around in a crescent moon, or goes all the way around. Sorry, I'm going to change it. This top valance is coming out. I'm going to paint it, put in proper lights, and then this is going to be a half of a backdrop. So the middle in this part here is going to get filled in, and then it's going to be more mill area. There's about 2 foot of wasted space in there, and I actually would like to be able to use it just to make the mill area a little bit more interesting, so to speak. I have some buildings, and these tracks are going to actually push in a little bit further into the mill. You know, we'll see how it goes. So that's going to be next. I'm just waiting for some weather where we can take this whole valance right out and take it outside, paint it, clean it, and all that sort of thing. So here's the other cars that the train seller did. Again, I just bought some cars off eBay, had them paint them, decal them, and then I weathered them. Pretty happy with these cars. I'm working on some loads for them right now. So that's an empty car, and then I'll have styrofoam loads with sawdust and a magnet, like some washers in there, so I can actually pull the load out. And then over here, again, that's going to get filled in a little bit. It's going to be a gradual slope down into the back for a creek, a couple of hills around the Y. The Y on the foreground here, we're going to make it look kind of old and not used very much, and then we'll keep going. So, and then in the back corner will be where the backdrop is. There'll be a hill in the background, and then the big wall. There's power lines are going to come down and go right across, right into the mill here. So that should look pretty cool with the trail along the power lines and such. So, and then of course along the front of the layout, I probably mentioned it before, there's going to be a lake, and it's going to be all lakefront around here, and then probably right about here will be 2 cabins sitting along the lake. There's lots of places along the Arkoma Central that where the train stopped, there were long lakes, and they had smaller cabins than that one, and you know, it looked really cool along the front of the layout with a big lake front, and have a float plane or something sitting in the lake and some boats and stuff, right? So yeah, that's about it that's new for now. Like I said, next up I'll be working on some more trees. The trees are super time consuming. You know, like that whole stretch from about there over, that's about 10 hours worth of work right there. So the time each one of those trees is handmade with the Super Tree Kit, and then they're sprayed, flocked. Each one is done in a different batch, so none of them look the same, just like real life. So they're very time consuming. It takes me about, I'd say, 5 to 8 minutes a tree. So you look at all the trees in there, it takes a while. So that's my my wine for tonight. So hopefully you guys are having as much fun with this hobby as I am. I'm just loving it. I've got a few more locomotives coming in sometime in the next few months, and looking forward to that. And I think that'll be it for locomotives for a while. I've got a CP SD40-2 long nose coming in that's 6027 to go with this CP group. I've got some more ACR units coming as well, and work on some more work equipment, weather some cars, and that's it, man. Hope y'all are doing good. Take care.